Back out at the place, getting some project updates. I think it's worse than we thought. Come check this out. Movers started ripping all the skirting off. Got the decks disconnected. Pretty sure that one, they just barely bumped it with the skid steer and it just ripped it right out of the rotten floor joists. And this thing is so bad. Look at this.
Daddy, this thing is like really bad.
Yeah. That is some premium rot. Pretty nasty. Now this guy, he must be a whole lot like me. Overly optimistic. Because he thinks, or he told me at least, he's planning on moving half of this thing out on Monday or Tuesday, which is like 2-3 days away. And he doesn't have axles underneath. He doesn't have the tongue on. He doesn't have them disconnected up above. Probably not inside either. So, I don't know. Maybe he's smoking. Maybe legitimately smoking the devil's lettuce. I don't know. But I'm just glad somebody's out here, I suppose, trying to get rid of it. And worst case scenario, at the end of the day, if he doesn't have it gone by the end of next week, me and the big old excavator are going to do a number on this thing, and you guys are going to get a sweet video out of it. What are we going to do, bud?
The excavator.
Get an excavator and
Sit still.
a skid steer. And what are we going to do with them?
Break the house down.
Break the house down. Just take it down. These guys better get on it. Get this thing out of here.
Yeah, this is sink.
Yeah.
Because look at this old thing.
Yeah, don't touch that. Okay, come on, let's go around the side.
Why I can't touch it?
Because it's nasty. Now there's some other lady that wants this deck. I don't know why you'd want this deck. Maybe she comes and looks at it. She'll change her mind, but kind of broke coming down, so we'll see.
Dad, come on. Daddy, I'm gonna check out this deck on this wall.
Okay, you check out the deck. Dad's gonna go around the back, all right?
I'm done with you, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, look at this. That is the back of the drywall, right there. Actually, that's not drywall. Whatever is on the inside for the wall paneling in there.
Don't walk on that.
Okay.
It's real slowly, Dad. I just tried to fall on it, so
Okay.
don't walk on it.
They are getting some of it separated, or trying to at least. The start of it. The other thing I wanted to do was come check out these trees again and kind of just make a plan for what all we're gonna have to excavate out of here and what we're gonna have to cut down as far as the trees go. Now, our house that we're building is gonna be about the length of this mobile home and then twice as wide. So it'll pretty much be like two of these sitting right next to each other. So if we had another one here and we kind of rotated it to where it's facing more towards the road maybe, which means all these trees right through here are coming out. Now this is kind of one of those things that's always hard to think back on, because when you are buying a house, you walk through it the first time and everything looks good typically, or maybe there's one or two things that you're like, oh, that stuck out, that's wrong, I don't like that layout or whatnot, whatever it may be. Didn't like that in the landscaping. But then you come back the second time, maybe right before closing or for a second viewing, and you're like, oh, I don't remember that being there. I don't remember that being there. Oh, I didn't remember that being as nice as it is, you know? And so like every time you see it, you pick up on a new thing that you didn't catch the time before. I feel like that's how it is out here with all these trees, because I thought that these trees over here were much bigger. Much more like this big one down here. It's hard to tell, but that tree is probably, maybe 20 inches in diameter. Whereas most of these over here are gonna range anywhere from 6 up to 12. So the big difference, and that extra 8 to 10 inches on a diameter of a tree is a big deal. It's a lot of weight and it's a lot of height even. Now the good thing about the tops of these trees is there's not a whole lot of branches and whatnot up there, and so I was originally thinking about just putting them all in a dump trailer and hauling them to the landfill, because you can just dump yard waste and trees and whatnot for free and mulch them up into wood chips. And then I got to thinking about it. Why would I drive 25 minutes one way to the landfill, waste all the diesel and my time doing that, when I could just rent a chipper, bring it here, and make a pile of chips, and I'm sure people will come pick them up for free. So at the moment, that's my plan with that. I'll have a skid steer here so I can just load people up, and we may even use some of them around here. Like down along the road, if we widen our road out and cut into it, or the driveway at least, we'll have a lot of potential for erosion and stuff. So we might put some of that, the wood chips and stuff along there, and try to prevent some of that. It's weird thinking that where I'm standing is going to be the corner of our house, and everything that's below us has got to come out. Kind of hard to tell, but it's a long way down there to the car and to the double wide. Now, unfortunately, we bought land with a unusable double wide on it, at least for us, but we do get a dog house out of the deal. So, I mean, that's good. We don't have a dog, but we might here eventually. Here's an up close of this tree. This is kind of one of the smaller ones, you can just kind of tell. And then this would be one of the bigger ones here. Now somewhere right back in here is probably going to be one of the corners of our house. So we're going to pull back up into here some, and there'll probably be a retaining wall back up here. And then down in here, I think this driveway is going to get built up a little bit back into over on the other side of the double wide here. So probably end up going down somewhere around 20 feet here and raising that far side of the double wide up 5, 6, 8 feet or so. And that's all we'll have to do to get this thing ready. That's all we'll have to do. Well, there's a whole lot more light in here now. They got this all opened up.
Yeah, it's a little light in there.
If you've never seen underneath a double wide, this is what it looks like. Well, some of them anyways. So a lot of them that aren't on permanent foundations are just going to be sitting on these cinder blocks. There'll be sometimes a combination of like a 4-inch by 8-inch by 12-inch solid concrete block, and then these like 8-inch by 8-inch by 18-inch or whatever these things are. These ones in the middle right there, those ones. And you'll pretty much just build those up to whatever height you need. Pull the trailer into wherever, jack it up off the wheels, and you can either leave it up high and just block up to your metal framing, or you can just get the wheels out and then start lowering it down and have it a little bit lower to the ground. But a lot of them are left up about this high, which is about 30 inches or so. And that just gives you space for all this stuff under here, your mechanicals and utilities and whatnot, or junk if you want to store stuff like this old guy. Looking around at all this junk, apparently this old homeowner was an alcoholic or close to it, but check this thing out. Calendar for Minnesota Vikings from 2012. Back when old Adrian Peterson was running back. That was his I believe that was his MVP year. I think that's everything we need for today. Was able to get a little progress report on this and seeing how far out this guy actually is to getting this thing moved. And we were able to take a little stroll up into the trees and remind myself just how big these things are and kind of see how big of a piece of equipment we're going to need to get them out. Now I do think we could probably get the trees out with a smaller excavator and just digging roots and pushing them if we didn't want to just cut them out first. I was kind of planning on cutting everything off and then just coming with the excavator and pulling these stumps out. And I'm still kind of up in the air on which route to go, but I think we're probably going to want a bigger excavator just simply because of the risk of hitting rock and having to maybe dig a boulder out or something, or just needing the extra power for that. So probably get a bigger excavator, and I think we're going to have to pack quite a bit more dirt down there and build that up. And so we're probably going to want a bigger packer, like a sheet foot drum packer for that. Going to head down to the auction this next week, check out a couple pieces of equipment, and hopefully get something bought, get it delivered, and be ready to start going to town on this. And that's what's next on the agenda. Auction next week, and the following week after that, we should be out here full time, trying to video a lot of stuff and get a lot of content put out. And make sure you guys subscribe so you can stick around and see them all. We'll see you on the next one.